And you are a liberal.
Absolutely.
Why?
Bleeding.
Bleeding?
Yes.
What does it mean, bleeding?
It's just a terminology that I often hear.
And do you know that real men are not liberals? Real men are conservatives?
I've heard you say that before. Yeah. There's a documentary I would love for you to watch about male masculinity. I think it would open up your viewpoint a little bit more.
In what way?
I think you would better understand yourself, and you'd probably stop espousing the stuff you say about weak men.
Beta! Are you a beta or conservative?
I think that's just kind of ridiculous, Stephen.
But if you are a bleeding liberal, you have to be
that doesn't
beta.
Make me weak. That doesn't make me weak, actually.
Immigrants are doing all this harm to black people. Why don't
man, you're running like a beta male. Are you a beta male? Beta! Beta male!
Enough to believe that the phrase beta male means anything.
You are a beta male. I'm surprised not surprised you're a leftist. If you were not a beta male, you wouldn't be a leftist.
Yeah, because a sign of being secure in your masculinity.
No, you're beta.
And say, oh, I'm not a beta male. I'm not a beta male. You know, you're a beta male.
Beta.
Being ridiculous, Jesse.
Beta.
The fact that you feel to resort to this nonsense.
Let me ask you, Ben,
shows that you know that you don't have a leg to stand on in the argument.
Ben.
If you had an argument, you'd make it. You keep talking over me and claiming you're not making arguments. You're just asking questions as if you didn't know that there was such a thing as a loaded question. I keep trying to focus on the arguments, and you're trying to do this petty schoolyard taunt about beta males.
Beta. Let me ask Ben. Ben.
That's a little hard. I don't really like to exercise.
Beta.
With exercising, it's too much fucking work and.
Beta male. Why would you say something like that?
Well, I happen to live in a pretty nice neighborhood. It's like super duper predominantly white.
You say you live in a neighborhood like that?
Sure, it's on the rich side of town, and I think in the middle of all of the unrest, I would say the trauma caused by the George Floyd situation.
You were traumatized by that?
Absolutely.
How old are you?
I'm 37 now.
And you were traumatized by George Floyd thing?
For sure.
What?
Do you not? Well, I know you're not a psychologist, so yeah, I get it. I know you probably struggle with psychology, but sure. So I would say that, and it wasn't just that one in and of itself.
Are you grown or are you a baby?
I think I'm a pretty grown man.
How you gonna be traumatized by something like that?
What year are you in? It's 2021. These women are out here being mothers, wives,
I know, that's
judges,
why
lawyers. No, a lot of them are married.
Yeah, but the man is a beta. Beta.
What is a beta man?
One that can't deal with a woman in the right way, his wife, or stay home and let the woman go to work, can't speak up for himself, and be an independent person, love what's right, and do the right thing.
So do you think that men can't be stay-at-home fathers? Do you think that's something against that?
Any man that's stay-at-home father is a beta male.
Really?
He's a woman.
Really?
Yeah. You're not supposed to switch roles like that. That's abnormal. Are most liberal men beta men? Beta males?
I don't think so.
Why they either triggered? Because only a beta male would be triggered.
No, because Trump snowflakes are the most triggerable people in the world.
Have you ever been
You say
triggered?
one thing against Trump and they lose their minds.
Have you ever been triggered before?
Sure.
When the last time you were triggered?
I get triggered oftentimes.
And what when you're in a situation and you are triggered, what happens during that situation that made you lose it? On your video I saw where you were triggered on Tommy Lahire's show. What was that like to be triggered in front of women?
You don't like women so much, huh?
No, what was that like
them?
for you to be triggered in front of women?
It doesn't bother me to be triggered in front of a woman any more than it does in front of a man, because I think all people are equal. It's an idea you should look into.
You were not embarrassed by that the women saw that you were being triggered?
Oh no, I don't have a fragile male ego like you do. I have a very strong male ego that is able to show a full range of emotions and not have it crumble me like a very weak exterior that you're putting out to the world.
But
I'm comfortable having emotion in front of all people, even in front of animals.
Even one of the women made a joke about you being triggered. She said, "Oh, what is he, a comedian?" Did that bother you though?
Well, it was a very unintelligent, silly comment.
In what way?
Because she saw my clear, real emotion, and she just tried to diffuse it by not acknowledging the reality of it, because there's no facts that can defend these indefensible policies, refusing even common sense gun control.
Did you feel like a beta male when she made a joke about you being triggered?
No, I don't look at humanity or masculinity in such stark primitive, uninformed terms as beta or alpha.
Beta!
My brother, I'll see you later. This
Where
is
you
a really
going?
stupid conversation.
You about to run?
Yeah, I'm going.
Don't run. Priests don't run.
This priest is leaving
Why?
because it's a stupid conversation.
What's stupid about it? We're talking about America. Are you really running? Beta! Who were you closest to growing up, your father or your mother?
My mother.
Your mother.
We were like best friends.
Really?
Yeah.
Growing up, you're your mother's best friend.
I was like her surrogate husband.
Wow. Beta! Well, how did that feel? What was that like for you?
See, well, because my father was, he was busy working all the time, and and so my mother turned to me a lot for kind of comfort, and it was like, it felt like I was her kind of secondary concubine or whatever it's called, and my mother was a very sensitive human being.
I know what you mean.
Very, very sensitive. And I was very sensitive as a little boy, and so we connected on that.
So you became like her.
Yeah.
And are you surprised you became like your mother?
Not now. No, I'm not. I'm not surprised by that.
Beta! You like being a beta?
Yeah, it's fine.
You like getting pushed around by girls?
I don't.
But they do push you around.
No.
Yeah, you easy.
When you treat people with respect, they don't push you
No,
around.
the girls walk over you because you're weak.
You just made that up.
Are you nice?
Yeah.
You're nice.
Yeah.
Weak! Anything else you want to ask me about?
Oh, yeah.
Like what?
I want you to tell me how you're an alpha.
I have no fear, no doubt. I love what's right with all my heart, soul, and might. I love all people. I have no hatred toward anyone.
Except black lesbians.
I'm able to speak up but not resent. I disagree with evil, and I agree with what's good, what's right.
What's evil?
Black Lives Matter.
Why is Black Lives Matter evil?
Because they call for the death of cops. What do we want? Dead cops when we want it now. Pigs in the blanket. And they were supported by Barack Obama, the fallen Messiah, Big Mama Michelle. And then after that, cops were being killed around the country.
Do you think it's a sin to make things up?
What have I made up?
Well, saying that after Black Lives Matter did that, cops
That
were
did
killed
not
around
start
the
happening
country.
after they chanted that, marching down the streets of
Well,
New
you
York.
made up that they chanted it.
So they didn't march down the street of New York
Chanting
that.
kill the cops? No.
What do we want? Dead cops.
No.
When do we
you just
want
made
it?
that up.
Now. So you didn't know about that?
Well, no, because it didn't
If
happen.
that's true, let's assume that it's true.
Why would we assume that's true?
If that's true, would that be evil?
I'm not assuming that's true.
That is true.
It's not true.
But you seem not to know because you're affirmative action baby. MIT made a big mistake, but you're black.
Did you go to college?
No. I went for 1
Makes
year.
sense.
Why not?
I'm in law school.
Because you're beta.
Law school is beta?
No, you a beta. What is it like being a beta?
Why don't we talk?
Why didn't you vote for the Great White Hope?
Well, I'm a liberal, and I have liberal policies, and he's a conservative, and he has conservative policies, plus
You are
he's
a beta
kind of
male.
So what does beta mean?
Weak.
Weak.
Real men are conservatives. Real men who are liberals are women.
When Trump goes on Twitter...
No,
and he
answer that. No,
whines,
let's stay with you.
complains-
Let's stay with you. You are a beta male. Why is it that you won't overcome being a beta male? You like being weak.
Well, I view what men are supposed to be as... By the way, that David Pakman interview was amazing.
Thank you.
He beat you to a pulp. But
thank you.
Let's notwithstanding. But I don't know. I feel like being a beta is just like it's subjective. So you have your opinion, I have mine.
No, you.
I know
beta.
that you're
Do
going to
you
respond.
you feel like a woman?
No, I don't.
You feel like a girl?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't feel like a girl, but I mean, male part.
No, do you feel like a man?
Do I feel like? And then I give you answers. but it's not the answer you want, so you keep asking the question.
Do
You
you
do this with
feel-
all your interviews.
Do you
and
feel
it drives
like
me nuts.
Do you feel like a man?
You're kind of a troll. Has anyone commented on
I hear that all the time. Do you feel like and you're not answering my question though. Do you feel like a man?
Do I feel like a man? It's a contextual question. So there's no
Answer
yes or
the
no
question,
answer.
beta.
Incredibly close and good connection, but I'm not worried about somebody saying I'm gay.
I don't think you're gay, but you seem to be more woman than you are man. Have you noticed that?
I disagree.
Because all of your qualities are that of a woman. You don't have any manly qualities. And you don't even seem to know what they are.
Oh, I think I've heard what goes inside the man box all my life. Tony Porter has talked through that. Oh my stars. I've heard what it is to be a man, and I've rejected a lot of those.
Do you like being a man?
Yes.
You do like being a man, but thinking like a woman.
I don't think I think like a woman. I think like a man.
No, you don't. I'm here to tell you, you don't.
I think what you're trying to say is I appear to be thinking in feminine ways.
No, you think like a woman.
I don't think so.
I want to be real clear.
Okay.
You think like a woman. Hey, Dad, can I go to the store to get a strawberry pop? I don't know. Go ask your mama. I recommend that you overcome your mother. You have your mother's mindset and emotions because when you were a kid and your father left, it was too much for you to handle her. And as you know, you become like whomever you are angry at. And so you are a passionate person. You need to forgive her. You need to forgive her because you have the mindset and nature of a woman. As a beta male, not an alpha male. Beta male, yes. Beta male. You're a beta male. Not an alpha male. What a shame. Mommy's boy. As a beta male, not an alpha male. Beta male, yes. Beta male. You're a beta male. Not an alpha male. What a shame. Mommy's boy.